Hi, I'd like to tell you about my general chemistry lab course that mixes modalities in order to better achieve our learning outcomes. So this course, like all chemistry courses, really centers around submicroscopic chemical phenomena. Students are in the lab doing experiments. The focus of this course is now discussion, the process they go through, and collaboration. Online, in lecture and office hours, the TAs lead breakout rooms. These breakout rooms are where we can share our screen, analyze data together, create problem-solving documents that are then emailed to students. So nobody has to furiously write down notes. They can focus on the discussion at hand. They can focus on thinking about the problem, framing their questions, and considering their problem-solving strategies. To facilitate this, during lecture, there's a formal lecture, a transmission lecture that's taught and recorded, but then we pause the lecture and go into breakout rooms to work on guided worksheet questions. Now, these guided worksheets present graphical representations, submicroscopic representations, and ask students to explicitly identify the chemically relevant features. When students come into the lab, they are doing hands-on experimentation. They are experiencing the lab space, learning how to navigate it, collaborate it, and successfully and safely work through experiments. But they're also able to engage with the experiments by recording videos in their electronic lab notebooks, by making audio notes, by taking photographs, by documenting what's happening for reflection outside the lab. They're not just looking at their written observations, they're looking at photographs and videos. They can bring those to office hours and we can look at them together so that students are able to really discuss and deepen their understanding. If a student is unable to attend in person, we now have the option for a hybrid engagement. Hybrid students are really a key part of the group data analysis by sharing their screen. When they need to see something in the lab, the students in the lab have to intentionally direct the iPad that the student is zooming in on so that they can see what's important. Students are really having to identify not just what matters in an experiment, but think purposefully about how they talk about their experiment and what they show visually. Oftentimes, the student that's online takes the lead when it comes to annotating the procedure, recording observations and data, while the students that are in the lab serve as their hands. And it's a discussion that goes back and forth so everyone is fully a part of the discussion and the decision-making skills. The students that are online are also able to use a lab kit. Now, it's important to note that no students are fully online. Students can transition in online and back in person as they need to successfully complete this course. But the lab kit can be checked out from the Northwest Corner Library, and students are able to practice their hands-on techniques with TA support. Something really neat that happened with these techniques is students feel more independent. They're working at home in their own space using home chemicals like water, salt, or tea. But they're working on their own with Zoom supervision, so we're there as they need feedback and if they have questions, but they've told us they feel more confident when they come back into the lab because they worked independently, even if we were there to support them. We're also able to provide feedback more accurately than we can in person, because in person, we're not going to put our face up next to their pipette, but a student who's practicing pipetting can hold their pipette right up to the camera, and we can see at a proximity that is not possible when we're in person. One student told us, "I thought the technique videos and critique helped me become a lot more confident working in a chemistry laboratory. I found these videos extremely helpful because I was not being graded on if I did the technique perfectly or not. Rather, these videos were resources I could always go back to and learn from. This was extremely helpful for me when I went back and watched my technique videos. I gained a clear insight into what techniques and what specific aspects of these techniques I needed to practice more and improve on. I learned these techniques over time from these videos and critiques in a stress-free way. They allowed me to learn for myself and think critically and analyze my own work. Therefore, when I came to the practical, I did a great job. with the techniques because I wasn't trying to recall the steps from memory. Rather, I had ingrained them in my mind by performing them myself and from critiquing my technique videos. Self-assessments are used early on, and then there's formative assessments where we give feedback and some points, and finally summative assessments that are higher stakes. In the fall semester of 2021, 81% of the students told us the final project helped them feel confident in designing and carrying out independent investigations. 77% of the students told us that online recordings helped them learn. In the spring and summer 2022, we are going to be implementing the MILI tool, the Measuring Meaningful Learning in the Laboratory Validated Pre- and Post-Assessment tool measures cognitive, affective, and psychomotor gains. Thank you for your time. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.